Hey guys, it's Maryland Girl here. I was actually planning to do another video today. I may put it out at some point today or tomorrow. But when I came back to my computer to get ready to work on it, I saw this article on NBC News about Harry and Meghan naming their daughter that was born on Friday. And it's an opinion piece about how the name that they chose for their daughter was inappropriate and tone deaf. And I read through the article and it got under my skin and I found myself yelling at my screen. And so naturally, I felt like I wanted to share my thoughts with the world on YouTube. So on Friday, their daughter was born and they named their daughter Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. And she's gonna go by Lily for short. And I think that's cute. I think that's cute. So apparently Lilibet is the Queen's nickname, and it's a private nickname that is just used within the family. And this author really took issue with that. So I'm going to just sort of skim through the article and read parts of it to you so that you can get a sense of what she's saying. And then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. But I've already told you, it ticked me off. So the article is called Meghan and Harry's baby name Lilibet, Queen Elizabeth's nickname, is at best tone deaf. Giving their daughter the monarch's private name seems like it could be a cynical attempt at reconciliation without actually doing any work. So that's the headline. So just going to read through part of it. I admit it. I am Team Queen. I was born in London and raised in England and Australia, a country that's part of the Commonwealth, i.e. a former British colony where the Queen is still the official monarch. I grew up singing God Save the Queen. I remember being ecstatic when we celebrated the Queen's Silver Jubilee in our small English town when I was a kid. My birthday on June 13th usually falls on the Queen's official birthday weekend, though her actual birthday is April 21st. And even though I now live in Los Angeles, I host a very British afternoon tea every year, at which I proudly honor my shared birthday with Her Majesty. Because of the respect I have for the Queen, I would never, ever refer to her as, in quotes, Lilibet. Lilibet harks back to the Queen Elizabeth's childhood when she couldn't pronounce her own name. Her father, King George VI, reportedly said of his two daughters, Lilibet is my pride, Margaret is my joy. However, the only person in recent times who has used the Queen's nickname was the late Prince Philip, and at his funeral in April, the Queen reportedly left a handwritten note on his coffin and signed it Lilibet. Yet, her estranged grandson and granddaughter-in-law, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, felt the name was fair game when they were deciding what to call their daughter, who was born Friday in sunny Santa Barbara, California. Their official announcement stated she was named after her great-grandmother, Her Majesty the Queen, whose family nickname is Lilibet, though she'll go by the name Lily, with her middle name Diana after Harry's late mother. To scroll through the social media feeds of friends and strangers alike here in America, you'd think the selection was an excellent one to honor Harry's beloved grandmother. But that can be the case only if you strip away the endless controversy surrounding Harry and Meghan's very public exit from their royal lives and from the UK as a whole. I'm going to skip down a couple paragraphs. From where I sit, it looks like Harry and Meghan are using a band-aid to try to fix a gunshot wound, referring to everything that's been going on between Harry and Meghan and his family. To fix a gunshot wound, with Harry saying, "Hey Grandma, I know you're pissed off with me right now, so I thought I'd take your very private nickname and put it in the public domain by giving it to our newborn daughter." At best, the decision seems tone-deaf. At worst, it's a cynical attempt at reconciliation without actually doing any reconciliation work. Frankly, the Queen deserves better. Her late husband, the only one who was really entitled to call her by her nickname, was barely in his grave when her grandson chose to shout across the pond, "Surprise!" So, okay, This is what's frustrating. This is what's frustrating, okay? First of all, I feel like we're coming into this article with this author just being ticked off at, honestly, Meghan, you know, to begin with. I think she's still ticked off about Meghan stealing Harry from the British people and getting them to move to the US or Canada and then move to the US. And I really feel like at the end of the day, that's what's behind this article. I feel like there is just a certain segment of the British population, or the people that are still under British, I don't know if I want to say rule, or still a part of the Commonwealth, who are just still ticked off with Meghan about the fact that maybe, her race, her being biracial, and the fact that she took Harry from them. And that to me is really what is behind this article, because this is ridiculous. Do you know, of course you know, how common it is for people to name their child after a parent or grandparent in honor of them? It is the most common thing in the world. And this writer complaining that this is the Queen's private nickname. I mean, you just gave us the history of this nickname. So clearly, one, you knew it was the Queen's private nickname, right? And you knew the history of it. So how private could it possibly be if you knew this already? I'm sure the British people who know everything about the royal family, I'm sure they knew that this was the Queen's nickname. And it's a family nickname. And that is Harry's grandmother. He is allowed to name his daughter after his grandmother if he wants to. Harry and Meghan can name their kid whatever they want to. They can name their kid after one of their own family members. And like, I don't have anything against British people. Like, I hope that this is understood. I don't have anything against people from the UK. But the way that they interact with the royal family is very, it's like a cult. It's very weird the way they interact with that family. It's like they control them, they own them, and they get to dictate everything about their life, about their lives. Like, for outsiders to tell that family how their family runs, what is an appropriate name for you to give your child, for outsiders looking in, who are learning about the royal family through books, through news coverage, through sources, for those people to think they know the royal family better than the actual royal family, it's so much arrogance, and it's just really creepy that they do that to me. I just don't understand. I mean, I partly understand because they just don't like Meghan Markle. They have never liked her, but it's just weird the way they treat that family, like they own them and they get to dictate to them everything that they do. And it's articles like this, although this article isn't like overtly racist or anything like that, but it's articles like this. That's exactly why they left the royal family. That's exactly why they left, because of people constantly nitpicking them and harassing them. And like, this is exactly the life that they were trying to get away from. Like, if you want to know why did Harry not want to why did he not want that life anymore? It's this. Like, understand the pressure that you are putting on people, trying to dictate to them what they can name their kid. They wanted to name their kid after their grandmother, after the great grandmother. And you write an entire article telling them that it's tone deaf. It's tone deaf for you to write an article telling someone they can't name their kid after their grandmother. That's tone deaf. Like, and it just speaks to a sense of ownership that these people have over the royal family that is just so foreign to people in other countries, I guess, who don't have a royal family. Like, I could never even think of telling someone it's tone deaf for you to name your kid after your grandmother. Like, what? It's extremely normal. It's extremely common. You know, she has this whole idea that they decided to name their daughter after the queen to try to bridge the gap, you know, to heal this issue that they have in their family with him leaving. And I'm like, or maybe they just wanted to honor their grandmother and Harry's mother by naming their daughter after those two women that they both love and respect. Maybe that. Why does it have to be anything other than that? And this is really just speculation. It really is that they would use this nickname to try to fix their family problems. Who does that? Anyway, further down the article, she says, Americans can't seem to get enough of the pomp and circumstance of the royal family because there's simply no equivalent here. And I have to just stop right there because I, for one, I absolutely can get enough of the pomp and circumstance. I do not care what the royal family members are wearing every day. I don't care how they're doing their hair. I don't care where they're going on vacation. I don't care. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean I'm not consumed with the British royal family. I think it's interesting that they have a royal family, but I think when there's a wedding, that's interesting, but I'm not going to get up at 2 a.m. to watch a wedding that's happening in the UK. Like, I'm not doing that. You know, I'll watch the footage of it when it comes on later. Like, it's cool, but there's people that are interested in the royal family, but we are not quite as obsessed over the royal family as people in the UK are. So yeah, I can get enough of that. And I think Meghan and Harry had enough of it too, which is why they left. But I'm going to continue. However, they conveniently like to overlook what goes hand in hand with that pomp and circumstance, specifically strict rules and protocols. So while Americans think Harry and Meghan have offered a sweet and touching gesture, making their child's first name the nickname of the country's official head of state is egregious. My goodness. Britons overall are much more private than Americans, and for the royal family, privacy is particularly cherished given how much of a public life they've had to lead. They have to lead. So I think Harry and Meghan know that they value their privacy, that the royal family values its privacy, seeing as how not really having any privacy is one of the reasons why they wanted to leave, because of the way the newspapers, the press there hounds them and everything they do. So yeah, I think that they're aware of that, and I don't think that they need a journalist that's living in the United States to lecture them about how they value their privacy. That is tone deaf. Just FYI, that's tone deaf. And assuming that you as an outsider know how the Queen and how the royal family, how they feel about Harry and Meghan naming their child after the grandmother, don't you think they know how they feel about it? Like, who are you to tell them you cannot name your child after your grandmother? That's egregious. That's terrible. Don't you know they value their privacy? Well, it seems like everybody knows that what this woman's nickname is. So the cat is out of the bag. It's not a secret. I mean, this level of nitpicking, this is why people say, this is really about just Meghan and people not liking her and just nitpicking at the stupidest stuff. Just nitpicking at the stupidest stuff. Honestly, it would not surprise me. This article was written yesterday. It would not surprise me if this article eventually got taken down because of just the level of pettiness that is running through this entire article. Like, I really can't believe that this got published. It's an entire article chastising Harry and Meghan for naming their baby after the Queen. You know, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So the article ends with her saying, "So I believe she has earned the right to whatever modicum of privacy she can carve out for herself, her being the Queen, something that doesn't include her grandson's appropriating her childhood nickname, one of the very few private things she possesses." Did you really say her grandson appropriated her childhood nickname? And that it's how is he appropriating her nickname? You know that he is a part of that family. That is a name that that family uses. He is allowed to name his daughter after his grandmother's nickname. That is not appropriating. That is normal family behavior. And it is clearly, as I've said multiple times, not private because you knew what her nickname was. And I'm sure people all over the UK know what her nickname is. This article, I really don't know how it got. I really don't know how this. I really don't know how this got published. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is the most petty thing I've ever seen, and I was really surprised to see that this was from NBC News. You know, this isn't like Breitbart. This isn't Fox News. This isn't like, you know, a post by Piers Morgan. This is NBC News allowed this? I mean, the level of petty on this. Now, they did label it under opinion. It's under the culture and lifestyle section, and it does say opinion, but it's petty. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you think, yeah, I mean, in the UK, things are different. And even though everybody in the UK knows the Queen's nickname, even her own grandson is not allowed to name his daughter after that nickname because that would be rude and tone deaf. Let me know if that's how you feel, or if you're like, hey, lady, mind your own business. You can name your kid whatever you want to name your kid, you know. I've told you how I feel about this, but, you know, I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing, which was I was about to do an article on something completely different. But when I saw this, I was like, are you kidding me? I have to say something about this. So that's all I have to say. Let me know your thoughts. And it'll be interesting to see how long this article stays up there.